Hey everyone, it's Miss Patty. Happy March 7th. It's almost springtime, so I'm super excited. Okay, so for this Sunday's lesson, we are going to need our Bibles. So if you need your Spark Bible, you also need a piece of paper, any color or plain paper is fine. Construction paper even works too. You'll need a pencil, crayon, or markers. So I grabbed a couple different colors, and you'll need your scissors and either a piece of string or twine or yarn, or even maybe a hair tie, anything that you can wrap around. So I have my little piece of yarn here. Okay, so we are going to, in our Bibles today, we're going to read about how God's people were about to go into a brand new land, and the people there didn't worship God. God wanted the people to always remember that God loved them and that they were there to serve God. Moses brought the people a message from God to remind them that they were God's family. Our church is the part of the whole Christian community. God gave us all something into a great big family together so that no matter who we are or where we lived, every Christian everywhere is part of one single community. A community is a group of people who have something in common, and we all can be part of different communities. So you have maybe your community of your family, you have community of your school. Even if you're in school, you're all in different classes, maybe different teachers in different classrooms. And then we have our families, and then sometimes we have even bigger families. And then some of you all live in different parts of the town or cities, or come from all over, maybe the St. Clair County area, or maybe even Macomb County, or maybe even somewhere a little bit further. Talk to your family about some of the communities that you're involved in and how it feels to be part of that community. As always, remember, if you need to pause to have discussions, go ahead and hit pause on the video. So let us find out more about the community God is calling us all together. If you're reading from your Spark Bible, you're going to turn to page 100. If you're reading from any other Bible, you're going to please read Deuteronomy 6, chapters 1 through 9. Chapter 6, verses 1 through 9. Then say, a message from God. Moses was talking to the Israelites before they moved into their new country. Moses said, "Come here. I have a message from God." Everyone turned to listen to Moses. "This is what God says," said Moses. "There is only one God, and we are part of God's family. Love God with everything you say, think, and do." The people nodded. They were thankful for their new country God was giving them. But how would they remember God in their new home? What if they forgot? Moses said, "Teach your children about God. Talk about God at home, when you go places, or at bedtime, and in the morning. And remember, we all belong to God." Moses was right. The people told their children stories about God while they kept traveling, and they were moving to a new country, and where they were God's family. Look around your room. What things do you see that makes you think about God? Grab one and tell someone in your family why it helps you remember God. The Israelites, I'm showing you your photo here in case you didn't have your book at home. So the Israelites left Egypt and traveled through the wilderness for 40 years before finally reaching their new land. Now they were starting a new part of their journey, and God wanted to make sure that they remembered they were part of God's family. God told Moses to tell people to teach their children all about God and God's family when they were home and when they were away, and when they woke up in the morning and when they went to bed at night. Are those your favorite times to say prayers? My family likes to do it at bedtime. One of the verses that helped remind the Israelites about being part of God's family was Deuteronomy 6, verse 5. "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might." For people in the Jewish faith, this is called a Shema. Many Jewish families have a Shema scroll in little tubes that they fasten to their doorposts. just like it says to do in the Bible story. We're going to make our own scrolls for you to hang at home so you can always remember that you are part of God's family. So you're going to take your sheet of paper that you have, and you're going to write these words. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. So you can go ahead and pause the video so you can write that. I'll say it one more time, just a little bit slower in case you're writing it with me word by word. You shall love the Lord your God. So again, you shall, and write this really big, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And then you could put Deuteronomy 6, semicolon 5, DEUTERONOMY, 6, dot, dot, semicolon 5. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Deuteronomy 6, semicolon 5. Mine may be a little bit backwards there. Actually, I might be able to fix that for you. There you go. Find my good camera angle here. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5. So you can go ahead and pause the video if you need more time, but if you're ready to move on, I'll show you what to do next. Okay, next. Draw some symbols that remind you of how it makes you feel to be part of God's community. You can do things like hearts, crosses, Bibles, anything that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate mine a little bit while you're working on yours. I put a big heart around the word heart and a cross, and I put a sun because I always feel that God shines the light on anything, on any obstacle, in any dark day that I have. So once you're done, I want you to take your piece of paper and roll it, but roll it with your words and symbols sticking out, or you can do it either way. But that way you can see some of your symbols that remind you of being part of God's community. So I have my sun, my heart, and my cross. And then go ahead and scroll it up. Take your string or your hair tie or your rubber band or whatever you have to tie it. And then you have that. Oops, my bow just came out of the. We'll make a quick knot. And then you can take your scissors and trim it up. And then you can go ahead and find a place to hang this up. Maybe even put a little hole to hang it in your room somewhere, or hang it by your door, okay, or above your door. So every time you leave your room, you know that you are walking out into God's community. Okay. Hang it in where you can feel that you want to be reminded about being part of God's family. So let's go ahead and close with our prayer. Thank you for helping me learn about God's family today. Before we go, let's have a prayer, thanking God for our wonderful faith and family. Dear God, for sisters and brothers, we thank you. For fathers and mothers, we thank you. For all our teachers, we thank you. For musicians and preachers, we thank you. For neighbors we know, we thank you. For others we don't know, we thank you. For all of the family, we thank you. They are our family too, and we thank you. For loving us and keeping us with you, we thank you. Amen. Until next time.